Hey everybody, Mark here, TekStack. I wanted to talk about a new feature they're introducing to the TekStack product and very shortly are going to make available for customers using other CRM forms or using their systems of record for things like that. Let's talk a little bit about Teams meetings. I think a lot of you are using Teams have been obviously using meeting file. With the Microsoft 360 Copilot, you get a lot of great features, and probably the one I'm most with is meeting recaps. This is where you can get in one stop, you can get all the information you want in that meeting, the full recording, the transcript. The 365 Copilot, you can get the meeting notes and follow-up tasks. You also get some really neat visualizations like who's talking and who's engaged and all this kind of stuff. Really, really valuable. And I think all agree that Microsoft's Teams is got to be the most secure op meetings. I'm a little bit surprised how many of these note takers for meetings. God knows where it gets to. God knows where it's for. God knows how it's used. And with the content in a lot of these meetings, sensitive, we think Microsoft's really the best platform for recap. But I think the biggest issue that Microsoft has created for itself is what the heck happens to all the great information in these meetings. For the most part, they get meeting recaps just disappear into the ether, very technical kind of information. You more or less have to search for it in these chats, and even chats don't show up by default, right? You have to kind of select meeting chats as one of the filter options here. I want to talk a little bit about what TekStack's done with Microsoft Teams meeting recap, and how the information from these recaps more available for folks in the organization. So look at an example here. We recent kickoff for a customer, pretty standard stuff. This is a kickoff. We do a lot of the talking in these meetings, and we go through a full kind of deck around welcome to Stack and what's happening next, all that kind of stuff. So you can see all the meeting notes that came out of that meeting. Okay, and you see the follow-up tasks. So normally this information, again, the PM probably copied this and stuck it in an email and sent it back to the customer with also a link to that meeting. Great. But what happens in the future? What do we do with these meeting notes and these follow-up tasks? It's one thing for these kickoff meetings, but as you go on in the project, you start running into issues. How do you catalog those issues and assign those issues? Because right now I'll just hit an email. Well, what we did is we created this Recap Plus ability that'll basically take this information and make it available in your system of record. Now, we obviously started with TekStack. TekStack has a CRM, professional service automation platform, some other things, and I'll show you how we kind of integrated this information. So first thing that we do, a little app, is we get this kind of phantom guest. So if you want to have this meeting available to anybody in the organization, you just invite that phantom guest, a user within your directory, and it'll allow this meeting to be available to people who were not invited. So you think about a sales meeting, about projects, and other people in the organization, management, the customer service team in the future, customer success team in the future, maybe the sales manager, want to have access to these meetings without being invited, or maybe we want to be able to use this information in ways in the future. So all you have is invite a phantom user, and that phantom is set up in your directory. And by default, if that phantom user is included in the invite, TekStack will consume all this information into our little app. The second thing that we did is we used brand new meeting recap for the meetings API from Teams, and we take this information using JSON and we send to the CRM platform. So I'll show you right here. Got this meeting recap. If I flip over to, I'm just going to look weird for a quick sec. Let's flip over here. This is the TekStack project that this meeting was related to. So the one thing we can do, we can figure out, okay, well, this is a project meeting for this customer. These are the contacts that were included. We can figure out which project it should be associated to. So when you navigate to the, here's the project, and you navigate to the timeline for this project, you can see here all of the emails that go back and forth for this project, but you see that this meeting has created its own activity in the timeline. So here is information about the meeting. You're just seeing here the JSON. We updated this to be a rich text, so it's kind of bullet point the way you would expect it, including the URL. But this information basically becomes available right from the meeting, because normally you wouldn't know where to go with this information. So if you wanted to go through the project, see how the project's going, or see where certain decisions were made with the customer, you can easily go to the activity timeline and see that information. The other thing you can do with this is you'll recall that meeting had next actions or follow-up tasks. So what we do for projects is utilize this RAID concept. So the risks, actions, issues, key decisions, but we create actions or follow-up tasks that were decided on. So data migration prep, demo scheduling, Macedonian holidays list, weekly stand-up scheduling. So again, if I go back to this, it's the exact, who's assigned, the exact summary of the follow-up tasks. So now in the project, the PM can see automatically, okay, these were the next actions. This is who it was assigned to, and then they can update the status from new to closed or whatever the status you want to update it to be. So this becomes a nice way to catalog all that information and make it available. Now we do the same with opportunities as well. So this was, in this example, a project meeting, but quite often our customers are doing sales meetings, and quite often in these sales processes, you're on a meeting with discovery call or whatever it is with a prospect, and you want to be able to capture the next actions and the summaries and all that kind of stuff. Again, normally these meeting recaps just hit the inbox. The rep needs to then transfer that information into the opportunity. Sales managers want to know, okay, what's the next action on this thing? And quite often that's a manual task for the seller to update the opportunity. Almost never happens. So what we do is we can take, using the task activity that's standard on our platform, which is Power Platform, and we can create tasks automatically based on the recap. So here I had a recent discovery meeting. I had 3 things that came out of it. And so it becomes very easy to extend that concept to sales meetings as well. Now, once all the information is basically in Dataverse, because right now we don't really know where the meeting it's not something that's obviously consumed by Copilot Studio as a knowledge source. So what we've done is, by providing all that meeting recap and follow-up tasks, we consume it into a table called AI Insights and make it available for Copilot as a knowledge source. So when you're building your agents, so if you see, there should be an agent called or a table called AI Insights, I can add that table into whatever Copilot Studio agent I want to create. So this becomes really powerful. One of the things that we're doing more and more with, you can see I have a couple of these agents running here. I have this opportunity creator agent. You create these agents, and it allows, it could either be autonomous, so it'll give you the weekly snapshot of sales objections this last week or whatever. Like you can train these agents to look for information from these meeting recaps, and because the meeting recap information is sitting in a table somewhere, so it becomes really, really powerful from a Copilot Studio standpoint. So we're really excited about that as well. So that's our new meeting recap feature. We're rolling it into TekStack for existing customers, and our next stop is to create a recap app that can be used with other CRM platforms, including obviously Dynamics 365. Salesforce is the other one that we're building to. And then we're also going to be extending it, other integrations to other planning tools. So Microsoft Planner. So if you're having internal meetings and these meeting recaps don't really go anywhere and drive forward momentum, we can integrate to Planner as well as Monday.com. So that's kind of where we're going with this meeting recap thing. Really excited about it. And if you have any questions, just let us know.